Welcome to our continuing series, Interviews with Disciples and Devotees. And today, we're very honored to have with us Rajan. Namaste. Rajan, I always begin with the first question. How did you first hear of Mother and Sri Aurobindo?
It's a very interesting, in my way, how Mother Sri Aurobindo came was very different. So I was born in Dindivanam.
In Tindivanam?
Yeah, 30 kilometers from Auroville. And I don't know till now why and how, what had happened with my parents. I have seen my mother and my father in a very young age. I don't remember the face, but I know they were there. When I was 4.5, from all my childhood, I was only with my grandma.
Oh.
She was from Pondicherry, Mettupalayam.
Oh.
So native. So when I was 4.5, my mother passed away. So I don't know till now what is the reason. My grandma also passed away 2009. So my grandma was a mentally disturbed person. So I was with her in the street of near Sri Aurobindo's library.
Oh, in the street?
Yeah. So my growing up memory, though she had relatives in Mettupalayam and they were coming and calling her, please come back. My grandma's brother, younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what was the real thing. They had some internal thing which didn't work out. And after my mother passed away, even she had become a very unbalanced, and she started to commit suicide herself and all this.
Your grandmother?
Yeah.
And did she feel...
That was already in the street. This was happening. She used to drink and go into the ocean and people would pull her out. Dramas like that had happened also. And there were so many people who were trying to help me.
Oh, in Pondicherry?
In Pondicherry, yes.
Oh.
There were these chief secretary drivers, it's close by, and there were some of them even said we want to adopt him,
How old were you then?
Might be 7, 8. I remember still there were people they want to help for my education and things. It never worked with my grandma.
She wouldn't allow it?
She wouldn't allow it, and it was not a life of very pleasant to say. But
how did you sleep? On the street?
On the street. And rainy season on the car sheds of chief secretary thing. There's these car sheds. So there were our home, and Shyam Sundar's house window overhang. So, and I spent most of the time at the library with the gate man.
In the ashram library?
Yeah.
With the gate man?
Yeah. They were very friendly, and what is her name? She passed away recently from the library.
Oh.
Yeah, they tried to help in a way, but it was quite complicated with my grandma. And there was a lady from Germany who was visiting. She was living in Luxembourg, and she took keen interest on me to give me education. She was interested. And
is she alive now?
Yes. And Ursula, her name. And she was she used to come only from December, January, February, just at the time
of season,
tour season. And she always used to come every year, and she was trying many other things, even with Perry, the old lady Perry. She was trying to help. She used to get books and Perry was trying to teach me in the library, and that also didn't work. My grandma tore the books and things. It was it was always a very big complicated with my grandma for anybody who wanted to. So
You had a very difficult childhood.
yes.
Really.
Then I was working in tea shops and several places. So then most of my memories are very close in my heart. Memories are being in the library, in the garden with the gate man, and they used to celebrate Saraswati Puja. That was for me something very special, and they always let me to join the puja. That is when I think back now, it's very interesting, because I heard from somebody once I was in Oroville. They said ashramites are not allowed to, feed the beggars or the street thing. But I had this mother had really made that opportunity. They used to put Mother Sri Aurobindo picture and in the middle Ganesh. And there used to come a lady who I remember 2 or 3 continuous Saraswati pujas attending there. And
So how old were you then? 9,
I
10?
could be 10, 9, 8.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I also had a urinary problem. So I used to shout like hell to go for urine. I got salt clotted in the bladder. And there was, I don't know the name of the people who had helped in the same street. I know only the young gentleman Sunil or Sudhir. I don't know the name. And his sister and husband, they helped me for getting operated.
Oh, so you had surgery.
Yes, that was another thing which I went also health-wise suffering with the thing. Yeah, then I come to Ursula, my foster mother. There, she's the one who had made a big interest and a big step forward to take me to Oroville. So she was living in the beginnings in the Oroville, so she had friends in Oroville. So she thought she could take me to Oroville and put me there just out of this place.
So you never actually went in the ashram?
I never been into the ashram. No, nothing. Only I remember the Saraswati Puja with Mother Sri Aurobindo picture and the calendar picture of the gate
In
man
the library?
in the library. And I had no touch or nothing. I had no, in that age, surely nothing. But now when I think of it, there is a strong connection to it. It had a purpose. Because you see, born elsewhere, then why my parents didn't able to keep me, why grandma didn't stay in her house. If she would have stayed in her house, I would have not come to the street. And if I would have not come to street, I would have not come to Oroville. Ursula would have not met me.
Yes.
So I see everything. And another thing also, that my grandma played another role which is very interesting. She told me this. For me, that's a thing I really feel that mother has really had taken, my colleague Elena, she said recently, you see, she knows. It looks from outwardly very not pleasant, but she knows to keep her children close to her.
Yes.
Always.
Oh, yes.
So when I was very young, I don't know when, and my mother gave me to some other parents who had no child near Tiruvannamalai. So my grandma didn't know this. In her absence, my mother did this. So she came to know. My grandma rushed all the way to Tiruvannamalai without knowing the address and name of the person who had taken. She had searched for me and brought it back.
I see.
If she would have left or not found me, I would have been in Tiruvannamalai.
Yes.
So
before we talk about Oroville, do you ever go to the ashram now?
Yes, of course.
You go to the Samadhi?
Yes.
Do you go to the darshans?
Yes. Yes,
Wonderful.
yes.
So you belong to Mother.
Yes, I belong to her alone.
So now you were maybe 10 years old and Ursula took you to
I was
Oregon?
taken in 1991.
91.
Yeah. Uh, the very interesting things also that grandma denied for everybody's attempt, but she didn't say no to Ursula to take to Auroville.
Oh.
She didn't say no, nothing. She said, okay, fine. Durai, one of the Aurovillian, and Hans, my soul brothers, Nishta, from Agni community. So, first, Durai and Hans came to see us with Ursula, and Durai spoke to my grandma that we would like to take him to Auroville and to give him education and grandma immediately said yes.
Oh. After so many refusals.
After
This time she said yes.
And that already shows.
Yes, of course. Of course.
And she also shared very lately when she in the year 2009 about her darshan about the mother, and she was also wanting to see Sri Aurobindo when he passed away. This is all she never actually shared before. That was
Did she see him when he passed?
No, she didn't. She was in the queue, and when she came close, and they said to her, "He's already put in the samadhi." So that she would always narrate with a great devotion. And for mother, she didn't have anything. She said, "Yeah, that Ma stands on the balcony, and people on the road. I have seen several times, very lightly." And I don't. She didn't have really something of, I think, no devotion towards
No devotion.
it. No, not at all. Only she was very much, I think, interested because she's from the local. She might have heard a lot about Sri Aurobindo, and
yes, of course.
that was her key interest.
So now you go to Oregon.
Yes.
As
So
a
I was taken.
young man.
Yes. I have been taken in 1991 to Dorai's family house in Adain Chavadi first. I was there living in their family. Then I went.
Do I know Dorai? It's not Dorai Kanan, is it?
No.
Different
Dorai,
Dorai.
yeah.
Okay.
He's from Adain Chavadi.
Okay.
And he's also working at Savitri Bhavan. Yeah. So I was taken there, and there were an interesting thing happened in Dorai's house. First time mother came in my dream.
Oh.
That time actually I have no devotion, no nothing of this kind of. I was very close attached to Ganesh. That was only my big thing. I had a very, till now, or my wife, my child, we all have we don't take him as a god, more like our own family members.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So, and mother came first time in my dream was in Adain Chavadi in Dorai's house. So that I remembered in the morning, but it didn't make any significance to me, and I didn't speak that.
Do you remember if she said anything?
No, it's I never been inside Golkund till today, and I don't know whether there is a terrace upstairs to sit. But in the dream, I was up on the roof, and all around there were cactus, and there was a table, a long table with I think 1 or 3 chairs, and it was a morning. I could see the sunrise, and I had on the plate the ashram breakfast, exactly how we are eating now. So, and suddenly I heard somebody walking closer. Then I turned, it was a mother. She was coming and sat next to me.
Oh.
And she only looked and smiled at me. On my left she sat. and that was the dream.
Beautiful dream.
Yeah.
Have you seen her since then in dreams?
Several times afterwards.
Several times.
Yeah. So
Can you share any of those?
Yeah, I stayed I think 1 year or 2 years. I'm not sure in Eden Chaudi. Then all my schooling school holidays, I would stay. I would go to Agni community because I like nature and I enjoyed. It was my paradise. Agni community, the birds and Nishtana, Hansana, Dorayana. It was really for me my home. I felt, and
Oh, you never had one before.
no, yeah, and so I asked my mother, I want to move to Agni. I don't like to be in the village.
Your mother?
Yeah, my Ursula, foster mother.
Ah, okay.
When she came, I said I prefer to go to Agni. Then it got arranged. I was happily moved.
Oh.
So then I had my schooling going on. First I went to Isayambalam. Then anyhow we were targeting to get into Udavi school. That time it was the top to get a place.
Yes. Was Meenakshi there then?
No, Udavi school is Anuben.
Anuban.
Yes,
Okay.
she was there. So, yeah.
You have to tell us all about these things. Too.
Yes.
About the teachers you met, the friends
Yeah.
you met. Okay.
So
now you're in Agni.
Agni, yes. And there, when I moved to Agni, we were looking a place in schooling in Udavi school. I was actually, late education. I had a problem in writing, reading, and so already by the time I became, I think 13 or nearly 14, where I couldn't read, write, nothing. So in ACMLM school at that time, the education system was more free education. So what they were trying with me it didn't help me much. I was most backward.
Ah.
So then when we approached, first Anuben said he is not capable to put in any class. You send him for a tuition. We will see next year. So 1 year I was sent to some tuition and all that thing to get tuned to put in one of the class. Then we went. Then they asked for birth certificate. So my birth certificate, wow. Then that took another year to get prepared with the birth certificate. So 2 years I got lost.
What about your father? You hadn't mentioned your father.
No, I don't know them anymore. Once my mother passed away when I was 4.5. Afterwards, my brother, family, nothing I haven't seen. Nothing, no, nobody else. And only grandma, finish. Only one.
So now it took 2 years for you to get into
Udavi. And Udavi was, were in the grace. It really, though I was not capable, and the teachers and how mother helped me to somehow, make it. I could manage, though it was very difficult. But yeah, Udavi school also very, it's a life for me which I can't forget. Schooling, because all friends, teachers, how teachers were, especially with me, and though because all the children were able to write and read, and they had to look after me in another level. And
to teach you reading and writing.
Yes. And I was put in 4th standard immediately, whereas I have to catch up a lot. So
what teachers were most helpful to you?
Anyhow, language was all the first thing, no? English and Tamil, math was okay, I could do it, but I loved only history and geography.
I see.
Well, that subject I could do well, and maths. And Tamil were till now I am struggling. English, yeah, a little bit.
No,
So,
your English is
yeah.
good. So tell us about some of your teachers.
My teachers, I remember uh, Jyoti and Pankaj. My memory is a bit.
Jyoti, Japanese Jyoti.
No. They were coming from Pondi.
Ah.
Yes, all this.
Pankaj, I know, yes.
Yeah. So they were all coming from Pondi. I don't know. I haven't met them after quite.
Mm.
I met one of the brother of Jyoti. He came recently even to the center.
Oh.
I don't know the name. I'm very bad with names. Yeah.
So tell us now what happened after Udavi.
Yes, after Udavi, in the time when I was still in Udavi, I got dreams and all my things happening in me. There was a search, and I felt I need to do something, but it was all I couldn't identify. And I was very much connected with Ganesh, and mother was there. I had respect, Mother Sri Aurobindo, but not very much connected till 2000.
Till 2000.
No. I had a great respect, everything, but not what I am now. And then in 2000, anyhow, I moved from Agni to grandma. She was in the village with my grandma. My grandma, meanwhile, came and my mother bought her a place, and we built a little house, and there we moved.
So why did you move back with her?
There are certain reasons which I think mother made it. It had to be like that. When I see it now, it had to be like that.
Oh.
If I would have not moved from Agni, what I am now, what the center which you visited in Eden Chavadi would have not existed, would have not come up. It looks all, it has its reason, and my search for something, what I always felt I'm there to do something, but I didn't know what. Now only I know what it is. A center for Mother Sri Aurobindo in Eden Chavadi.
Well, I want to talk a lot about that center,
Yeah.
but let's go back to your moving in with your grandmother.
Yeah, I moved and I looked for a job. So my foster mother, Ursula, she helped me for till my schooling, and she was tremendously taking the biggest care, even not my own mother took. She was so loving, and my gratitude and love is always for her. And without her, I would have not come to Auroville, and what is now the work I am doing for Mother Sri Aurobindo, she was also the big instrument to get the place for my grandma. If my grandma would have not come, that place would have not been bought. You see, again, grandma has somehow plays the role.
Yes. This is the one I visited.
Yes, that is the place which you visited.
Oh.
Yeah. And where my mother did whatever was, the best for me. She did it without any denial, and she was till today. My gratitude is.
So now you moved in with your grandmother, and what happened?
So that I moved in 2000, then I looked for a job where I was not actually skillful person, or not able to write and read fluently. So I had a problem to find a good job. So I went here and there, and finally mother put me in town hall when it was newly built, when it was opened. And I was put as office assistant. I got a job there.
Now you said mother put you. Our mother or Ursula?
Our mother,
Our
the
mother.
supreme.
Very good. Okay.
Finally, she helped.
Just want to be clear.
Yes, the mother put me.
The mother. Okay. So
So
office assistant.
yeah, then I worked there for 9 years.
Oh, and how old were you when you
Uh,
started and when you left?
I think I was 23 when I started the job. I worked for 9 years.
Oh, so 32.
Yes. So
What was the work like?
it's for more photocopying and post to take letters to post and things. Then finally I started. It became needful for photocopy for the communities. Then we opened a photocopy service with the graphic section.
Oh,
So then I was put into the photocopy section, binding, photocopying, lamination. So I did that. I quite enjoyed, and there where I met all Orwellians and friends. So I'm only known for many people. Oh, this person from town hall photocopy service. For a long time I was been. Then I left from there to another project, Leela Loka, beautiful project.
a what?
Which Leela Loka? You haven't heard. It's a self-learning center. Very beautiful project. I really loved it. And this, I think I worked for 5 years.
Can you tell about that in some depth? What it was, who founded it, etc.
It was Lise, Sandrine, Anna. At that time, there were only 3 of them I know. And now there are many people have changed and new people are in, and this project actually quite helped me in my own growth a lot, because I had enough time exploring myself and also with the project to get, because they had a special way of taking this project, which taught me a lot.
Well, tell me about the project, because I don't know anything about this. Many people want to hear about this.
Yeah. This was the name was given by Oroculture. She had this name and it was given to another person, and that person used it for some time. Then they collectively become a group of people and they made this Leela Loka to manifest. It's a place for all age to learn. That was the thing.
So it was a school?
It is not a school. It's
Is it a
in my view, it's very difficult to express for me, because for me it looked different and for somebody it looks different. For me it really was a place where you can give importance to your psychic growth. It was for me like that. For another person, for a child, it is a place to explore and play, and because there's a beautiful garden, or where they have like play of painting and individual play with the child, and nature theater by Anna, and the concept, what an idea I was saying, to put different people's they to share with the community. You have like I was where I love nature, so I like to share and be with the nature with children, to take, it's a space for all, not that you there is no limitation to keep.
Yes. And where is it located?
It is next to Mahakali Park on the edge. It's near close to last school.
Ah, okay.
New last school, not the old one.
Last school, yes.
And near Kalabhumi also you can see. Yeah.
Well, let's take a break and then we'll start with the next session.